Now, I promised you a stellar lineup of speakers. We've had our first of our external special guests. And next, I am delighted to introduce a new friend of mine onto stage. Someone has once described him, or audiences have said, is a little bit like Burning Man meets TED. If you come across Burning Man and the TED Talks, well, we're going to mash those two things together. In the spotlight that he occupies so well, Igor Beuker is a top marketing innovation keynote speaker and a futurist known really for his foresights on the trends and technologies that impact businesses, our economy, and also society. Behind the scenes, he's also a serial entrepreneur. He's had 5 exits from his businesses. He's an angel investor in 24 social enterprises. He's board member at Next Level media firms. He's a change maker at Rolling Stone Culture Council. He's a Hollywood sci-fi think tank pioneer, an award-winning marketing strategist for Amazon, for L'Oreal, for Nike, and a seer for Fortune 500 companies, cities, and countries. I think that's quite the introduction. He deserves every word of it. So please prick up your ears, be ready to absorb all the insights he has for us, and give your warmest welcome, please, to Mr. Igor Beuker.
First of all, thank you very much for having me on stage. That is very courageous. I will tell you a little bit why. I'm going to take you on a wild ride. As you can see, the world towards 2050. What I see the coming 30 years, in my vision, is that the world will change more than in the previous 300 years. And I'm going to do that in 30 minutes. So please fasten your seatbelts, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay? Are you ready? I hope so. What I want to tell you is a little bit very important nowadays. Who I am and why do I do what I do. Of course, you hear a lot of brochure talk, white beard, white shoes, very cool. The start of my life was not so pleasant. I came from a bad upbringing, lived in foster homes, and eventually got saved by my grandparents. Of course, very old school people with traditional norms and values. That gave me a sort of idea that makes you humble, and it creates high empathy and compassion. And that is a large part of my work in what I do today. I have been cancelled on media for speaking the truth. That will keep happening probably. I say things out loud. If it's a health crisis, why are the gyms closed and the McDonald's open? Yeah, then you're a very dangerous person. So I'm a little bit of a misfit on a mission. I try to help the world, and I will show you some ideas and cases that might help you. And the imagination is a very important part in my story. If you can imagine the future, you can create it. Imagination also leads to inspiration, motivation, action. But that is very difficult, ladies and gentlemen, because when I was 25, 30, I thought I want to be a futurist. I want to help people imagine the future. And everybody said, well, he's crazy, he's an idiot, don't listen to him. Why you? So I asked to senior people, big leaders, well, why are people not listening? They said, Igor, it's very simple. You didn't earn your stripes yet, amigo. You need to be 50 years old with a gray beard and bald to have your seniority. And as you can see, not my personality is, I don't have time for that, to wait 20 years to become a senior. What else can I do? He said, if you want to prove your vision, start selling businesses. So I did, and then you get speaking rights. So I want to take you on a journey what I learned the last 25 years and how you can help your business, your company, your city, and whatever you would like to grow. And prosperity there for me is very important. I was a space kid, very much always fascinated by sci-fi technology. Private space companies are now flying back to back with NASA. In 2017 or 18 for Business Insider, I predicted that space taking out raw materials, water, helium-3 from space would be 100 or 1,000 times Bitcoin. They say, oh, he's crazy. Well, recently the Chinese discovered more helium in space, so that might solve the crisis about energy for the coming 500 years. What else can space do? I'm in Ocean Action and other companies with, for example, Richard Branson, Space for Good. If you have the satellites in the sky, we monitor overfishing, the quality of the coral reefs, when are the turtles hatching, and what about deforestation? Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the birds in the sky and that you can say, listen, we've seen that you're chopping trees in the Amazon wood, and the government might say, no, that is really not true. Well, we have the data here. So now the satellites in the sky are helping the oceans. So I see a lot of opportunities that were impossible, and now it is possible, but you have to apply and see the opportunities. When I speak about purpose-driven leadership, I want to take you on a quick journey what is now possible. We see a lot of, I call it cause artists or cause athletes, huge, important athletes with a huge following. Serena Williams, for example. She supports and backs 60 social enterprises, company, people, planet, prosperity. And these are the role models that we really need, trust me. I give you another example, which I'm ex-football player. I was kicked out of professional football around 23. I still have a big passion for football, and I think this is very clear. But can you imagine if we use those role models? He's inspiring 630 million fans, people. 630 million fans, inspiring them to do good. Do you understand these models? Cristiano says, guys, all fans, if you give me $1 per fan per year, we can build football schools in Africa. If I launch NFT for good, we can change the world. This is one football player, ladies and gentlemen. One top athlete with the golden heart. Do you remember at the World Cup that he put the Coca-Cola aside? Agua. Water. 7 billion down in the market cap of Coca-Cola and the stock exchange. And to be very honest, I can say that I prefer those people rather than the Kim Kardashians, because these people are really willing to give back to humanity and society. For me, that is beautiful. You agree? That we could use a little bit more of those role models. If I look at the world that's social entrepreneurship, we talk a lot. Some people like Bojan Slat, the Serbian Dutch guy, CEO of the Ocean Cleanup, he crowdfunded this company. Next, he get big sponsors, and he's taking a lot of plastic out of the ocean. Can you imagine the world is now running on 5% of the people on the planet are entrepreneurs? That we get to 10% of entrepreneurship, or 15%, or 20% of entrepreneurship, and we get more social entrepreneurs, people with prosperity, planet, and not only profit, how we can change this world. And it only takes one person to start a movement. And that is, for me, purpose-driven leadership, ladies and gentlemen. We can do it. And we can do it faster with technology, and we can do it faster because of social media. What else do I see? Real world is almost ahead of our science fiction, said Keanu Reeves. So sometimes we think, well, it's a little bit far out. I have to wait and see if this is going to happen. That's a little bit of the culture sometimes. We've been doing it like this for 20 years, Igor. It's the most killing phrase for innovation that I've ever heard. We've been doing it like this for 20 years. You're game over, out. If that is the culture and the DNA, you're not going to make it. We are in the era of the fourth industrial revolution. Exponential technologies, 10 times faster. So what I've seen and learned is very difficult. We have a senior leadership room here. Curiosity and imagination are true superpowers. I went successful when I finally, at age 50, returned to that 4-year-old boy. Why? I want to find out, I want to know, and the curiosity and the imagination, especially in the coming 30 years, true superpowers. And if that is difficult, this is a beautiful quote. It's never too late who you might have been, George Eliot. So you're never too old to find your inner child again. And that is a beautiful thing. Well, I of course have to touch some difficult topics as well. If you look at the coming 30 years, politics, lawmakers, regulators, everything is going to be super important.
you understand that, especially in the world of technology. Do we want self-driving cars? The technologies say yes. But policymakers, what do we say to the 400 million people that work in mobility? Truck drivers, Uber drivers. Are we going to re-educate them? Or are we going to put them on welfare on the bench at home because we said, yeah, technology took over, sorry. So policymakers need to understand the impact of these technologies. Incredibly important. Well, I think here, and I hope and I dream that Saudi and the United Emirates together is better. What we've seen in Europe and the US from an investor perspective, never catch a falling knife. I think in the coming 10, 20 years, my professional opinion, morally and financially, difficult period ahead of times. Very difficult period. Take a walk through iconic cities like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. You will immediately understand what I mean. This is an era, and we're only with, in that part of the world, 1.1 billion people. That's basically nothing. It's murder by numbers. But if you look at the new BRICS, and I have to carve out, sorry, Argentina needs to be out. They said no. But if you look at this, more than 5 billion people. I think wealth is transferring in the coming 10, 20, 30 years from the west to the east. And there is very important drivers behind it. I see a lot of people and leaders in the Eastern world or in the BRICS market or whatever you call it. They want to bring 5 billion people towards prosperity. And that is, of course, what a leader does. You lead by example. You help your people to grow. And I think that is what is difficult in the West, that we've forgotten about it. We're in a declining trend. There's a lot of people in Europe and the US that are looking for new opportunities to build a life upon. And I think this region leads, if you're talking about ancient intelligence, I think this is a part of the world. Of course, I do believe in artificial intelligence. But we humans, we have morals, we have ethics, we have values, we are very, very intelligent. So, ChatGPT, yes, but don't carve out human intelligence. I think that is very important. And I want to take you on a quick ride. I'm looking at the time. We've seen a period that we call digital transformation. Let's say the last 20 years was a period of digital transformation. And it was incredibly difficult for us. Why? And what happened? And what can we learn if a fourth industrial revolution is on steroids? This is only the warming up, ladies and gentlemen. If you combine the internet, industrial revolution 1, 2, and 3, that was just the warming up. Now we're starting. The coming 30 years, we're going to see massive change. 20 years of digital transformation and we didn't learn a lot. If I would be a football coach and I wanted to score, I say I need a Messi or a Ronaldo. Let's be pragmatic. If you want to survive digital transformation, you need a chief digital officer. It's not that difficult, ladies and gentlemen. But we need digital leadership and cyberpunks at the top and throughout the whole organization. Why is that so difficult for us? Because we don't see the trends coming. I can explain it to big companies. Always the answers we get is, yeah, but Igor, we've been doing it like this for 20 years. And the other misconception about digital transformation, it's not everything on a screen, ladies and gentlemen. We need new business model power. This is what is changing. It is a transformation. Things are not moving onto a mobile screen. The whole infrastructure is changing. Internet technology is the most revolutionary technology for the coming 100 years. So how can we learn from this recent past and improve for the future? Well, we already announced it a little bit 20 years ago. I started to talk about the impact and the power of the fourth industrial revolution, how it would shake up countries, industry. You read that on Wikipedia later. People get so nervous, because yeah. So you cannot tell me to when this is exactly. So no, sorry, we don't know. Oh, difficult. No, imagination can be 30, 40, 50 years. We'll find out. What I do know and what I've seen for the last times is, why do we underestimate it so much? Can we see what is happening? No, we cannot. Why not? Gradually, boom! Through the roof, exponential. Very difficult to us to understand, because blah. And then suddenly it's happening. That is the power of exponential technology. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, boom! And what can we train? What is the most important thing? Mindset. Technology can do it all, but our mindset. So if I translate this for you, what I have seen, exponential technologies versus our linear minds. The only thing I'm here to do today is to try to reprogram your mind a little bit. Different mindset. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, extremely difficult. Can I give you a few examples? You might recognize a few. It is demolishing entire industries. I will show you. Made a framework years ago. Does anybody know this series, Mad Men? It is a series on Netflix. It's about an old traditional world, marketing and advertising. The big brands, the Nikes and the Coca-Colas. If you spend $4, $5, $6 billion on global advertising every year, you became the #1 in the market. It was simple. What we tend to forget is there were only 3 brands in the supermarket and 3 TV channels. You feel the world changed a little bit. Of course, they use McKinsey and backward-looking market research, because this is how we've been doing it for 70 years. Now I discovered a new group. It's not a series. Please don't go to Netflix and you see Crazy Trend Watcher. I made them up. They don't exist. I discovered the Math Men. Larry, Mark, and the rest of the San Francisco gang. The people with the ones and the zeros who say advertising, that is for a few quarters. Innovation wins you decades. And those people disrupted everything that we know, even the big brands. And I want to show you a few examples of what is happening and why. What business case would I like you to make? The McKinseys and the big consultancies don't do that. I reverse it as well. I don't only say the return on investment of innovation, what is your ROI, but what is your risk of inaction? What if you don't move now and you sit on your butt and you don't touch 3D printing in real estate or AI? What will happen to your business in 1, 3, or 7 years' time? And, will you still be there? So the CFO and the CEO look at me and they said, please make that business case as well. Because if you have an offensive strategy, it might be interesting to have a defensive strategy as well. Otherwise you become a little bit like my Dutch football team. We all 11 go attacking and then we think, anybody in defense? Oh no, we forgot it. So very important. This slide can make or break your business. Return on investment versus risk of inaction. Other people, very interesting for me, I speak every year at the Ocean Action Summit. Richard Branson, super entrepreneur, also a little bit of an outsider or an outlier. If Boeing, he calls up Boeing, And he said, yeah, British Airways left my wife 4 times on the sideline. Can I lease a few Boeings? I'm going to start Virgin Airlines. But what? The disruptors, the outsiders, and the outliers. Now, one thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get booked for retail conferences because they say, you're not a retail expert. I said, no, but the thing is, I look fresh. I can tell you what happened in other industries. What do those people, the outsiders and the outliers, have in common? Does Richie Branson know a lot about flying and Boeing? No. He runs a space company, Virgin Galactic. But why do the disruptive innovations and changes never come from the people within those industries? Why? Why is Elon Musk successful in car industries? Doesn't know anything about cars. They look fresh and they have this fresh culture, attitude and DNA, and they will never say, ho, 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 you don't understand it, we've been doing it like this for 20 years. That is the most difficult thing, culture mindset. All you need to take out today. The things that you cannot imagine will happen faster than we could imagine. If you are open to that, you're the winner. It's my favorite futurist, sort of my sensei, is not here anymore. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read, write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. It is very difficult, people, especially when you're high up, CEO level, you have 4 corporate stripes, and they come young people. It's difficult for me as well. What do you think that happens to me? I have 14, 15-year-old kids that work for our company sometimes, 20 years old. You know what they say? What are you doing? Are you trying to get research and insights? See, yeah? You're an idiot, they say, 15 years old. He said, whoa, 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 I've been 50. I do this for quite a while. He said, do you want to prove to the banks that Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon will be big players in fintech, financial tech? Do you know that we have algorithms and AI and that we can easily find for you that they did in 2022 120 billion in acquisitions? I say, how do you get to that information? AI. Okay. So we now tell the banks who don't believe it that there is serious competition coming in financial tech based on the number of acquisitions and the value of those acquisitions. If you don't have an open mind, you would probably say to those children, shh, you only have one stripe. This is the new culture. If you empower younger people that have different skills, you're the winner of the coming 30 years. So I want to take you on a ride, explore a few trends, tell you what I mean, the trends through a mathman lens. What do the tech guys see? Simple examples. We've been explaining retail for about 20 years. This is going to be very serious, the Amazon effect. Why are we still retailing like it's 1999? Don't we believe it? If you look at this Amazon published this 15 years ago, you don't have to be a futurist for it. If you have a search box or Google, this is the new supply chain 4.0. If you want to be a retailer and compete with Amazon, implement this. And look a little bit at the future, because they already have patented flying warehouses where the drone comes out, it will open your smartphone, and the hot pizza will be delivered. And people say to me, Igor, but please pack your bags and leave. You're completely crazy. Yeah. Is Amazon too almost a $1 trillion? So it's very difficult for us to see that. And of this sexy picture, the media and television companies, they said to me, Igor, listen, television is a lean back medium. People are not going to interact. That whole internet and YouTube, we've been doing this for 80 years, Igor. What are we talking about? And I said, this is what they say, DNA. Netflix is a hype. Yeah, all the television companies in the world, I spoke for all of them. Netflix is a hype. YouTube, Igor, come on. A bunch of cat videos. Are you serious? Yeah, this is what they say. In under 7 years' time, ladies and gentlemen, look it up, facts, in under 7 years' time, the duopoly Google, Facebook took over 55% of the entire global media industry. In under 7 years' time. Cat videos and the hype. It is going exponentially fast. I speak for a lot of big car brands, Mercedes-Benz and all the big ones, and they say, Igor, do yourself and us a big favor. Eh? You're a nice speaker, but if you come back here, leave that Tesla example out, Igor. Everybody's laughing at you. Who's laughing now? One of the biggest market caps in the world. They can deliver a Tesla from zero to a driving car in 45 seconds. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And Mercedes-Benz said, Igor, we have been doing it like this for 100 years. Come on. People, that is not always an advantage. It can be a huge disadvantage in this world. Some other things I would like to show you. Big new trends, e-sport, gaming. What do we see? The growth and engagement in esports and games is incredible, mind-blowing. Of course, you are on top of the game. 23.5 million people here in Saudi Arabia are gamers. The games revenues are going to grow to $7 billion in 6-7 years' time. And yeah. Have you seen similar venue Sphere in Las Vegas? They just reported a 98 million loss. The UFC is going there. The UK said, no, London, we don't want it. Missed opportunities. This is going to be for real estate and for people, big drivers, and it's only growing, growing, growing. If you look at the compound, the numbers, the growth rate, incredible. Another thing, city marketing. After the pandemic, I speak at big conferences where cities, my country where I live, Spain, lost 92 billion in tourism year on year because we closed the borders. No more tourism. How do we make that money back? B2B events, very interesting target audience. Take, for example, Web Summit, the biggest tech fest in the world. Lisbon bought it. It brings, ladies and gentlemen, 70,000 business travelers to Lisbon for 4 days. Should we do the business case quickly? 70,000 times, $220 for a visa in Saudi Arabia. 70,000 people, 3-4 days in a hotel. 70,000 people in the Uber, 70,000 people in the restaurant. Boom. Business travelers, ladies and gentlemen. 3-4% would probably say, what a beautiful country is this, what a beautiful city. Can I rent or buy a house here? This is how you drive. It can be 7, 8 to 9 to 10% of the GDP of a city, one business event. This is where the money is, this is where the future is. And these are hidden business models that I hope that you will seize and coin because you deserve it. A few things more about AI, PropTech. What do we see? The basic trends, what is going to be the impact? Very short. I summarized it for you, what is going to happen in the coming 10, 20 years. So it's a little summary of what you can expect, and maybe more important, we already talked about it. I predicted this 15 years ago. What will AI robots do? Take 30% of all repetitive and routine jobs in the coming 10, 20 years. That is a prediction, I don't have to be right, but if you don't have an idea where it's going, you cannot make any policies. Is this bad? I don't know. What if we, ancient intelligence, tell the robots, hey robots, do our dirty, our repetitive, our dangerous, and our dirty work? And the people can do more mindful and hospitality and smarter work. So is it all drama, or is this new opportunities to, do you think people get really happy and satisfied if they have to be 40 years behind in a factory doing low-schooled repetitive work? No. So why don't we outsource that to the robots? If you can imagine the future, you can create it. Cute, why I show this, there was a big billboard in New York, of course with defensive, we say, hey ChatGPT, can you finish this building? Well, it's not ChatGPT, but it's the robots taking over. So it's difficult for us to understand, we feel very protective, because I understand, but this is it's not an evolution, it's a revolution this time. And 3D printing, if it's not ChatGPT or the robots in real estate, what do you think is going to happen with 3D printing? I see prefab houses already, printed in location. Like you all played with Lego when you were younger, all the blocks? They shifted to location and it's already installed in place with the technology inside. It's difficult for us to grasp. 5 to 10 years will be reality. Maybe 15, depending on where you are in the world. And if we take a little bit bigger scope, retail doesn't like it, but I have to give predictions. And people say, do you know for sure that it's 30%, Igor? No, I don't know. It can be 25, it can be 21%, and it can be 28%. Details. It is significant. What do you think that happens with 3D printing? What do you think if you're DHL or transport or manufacturing companies? I already have stores when I say, hey, is my jacket ready? Yeah, of course. I have my Amazon jacket 3D printed, comes out of the local printer. Not at home yet, eh? The home printer market will take 10, 20 years. You go to a local printing shop. Takes out the whole distribution, the production, the manufacturing. We have to be ready for these kind of strategies. Risk of inaction, return on investment. Make the business case. So to close off, a lot of information. Sorry for 30 years and 30 minutes, but I have to give you some ideas. The key takeaways, what do I mean? Exponential technologies versus our linear minds. What can we do? Technology can empower or control society. What do we want? How are we going to apply is to create a better, brighter future? That is politics, lawmakers, and us the people. One of my favorite marketing management consultants, Peter Drucker, culture eats strategy for breakfast. If you have madman DNA and you cannot work on your mindset, we'll probably see you in a museum near us soon. Because I showed you 5 to 7 to 10 years time. That is really rapid, ladies and gentlemen. It can go that fast. Look at the media, look at Tesla. We are senior leaderships. Do you know the movie, Mr. Miyagi with the Karate Kid? We are the senior leaders. Can we help younger people? It's difficult, because they probably tell you, well, I want to be a CEO in 6 months' time, but I'm surfing in Bali, so I don't have time. But we need younger people, they need help and guidance, and if they don't know Mr. Miyagi, they probably know Mr. Han. That is the younger generation. They see the new movie. Even more important maybe, for us, might sound like a funny slide, I mean this dead serious. Please, 2024, install a screen-ager advisory board in your company. If you have new digital or technology ideas, have a screenager advisory board. They will easily tell you, are you serious? No. This is what we need, because we, the force-type generals, we also need empowerment and crazy kids that know technology 100 times better than us. That is a cultural thing. Accepting feedback and ideas from people that have not earned their stripes yet. That is also culture and DNA. Trust me, it will be very pleasurable and fun, and you will really get a better business, because they are your target audience. Last but not least, real estate used to be an art. I think today it is a science too. You need to apply technology to your business, and that's going to be very difficult. And what we learned from digital transformation, and this is very important, hire the talent for the industry 4.0, IoT experts, AI experts, 3D printing experts. You need to have them in your companies. And the thing is, there is 20% out there. And if you don't move now, they will be locked in by the Googles and the Facebooks, and there are not many of those people. So if you trust my story, go find those people, hire those talents. You will be the winner for the future, really. Last but not least, in the world of exponential technologies, be nice to nerds. We will all end up working for one. And I want to invite you, with your ancient intelligence, that is okay, unleash your inner techie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the bumpy ride. Enjoy your day. There will be fantastic speakers. Thank you very much.
That was a whistle-stop tour through the future. Thank you so much for sharing your 30 years of insights with us. Really appreciate it.